You overthink everything constantly. Analyze endlessly without conclusion. Worry continuously without resolution. Ruminate perpetually without progress. Second guess continuously without decision. Doubt chronically without action. Question relentlessly without answers. Loop mentally without escape. Cycle repeatedly without breakthrough. This overthinking is paralyzing your action completely, paralyzing your decisions totally, paralyzing your progress systematically, paralyzing your success inevitably, paralyzing your life permanently, paralyzing your potential absolutely, paralyzing your achievement entirely, paralyzing your growth continuously. That is the key. That is the pattern. That is the trap. That is the problem. That is the transformation. Overthinking creates paralysis automatically. Paralysis prevents action inevitably. No action prevents results systematically. No results prevent success completely. No success prevents fulfillment permanently. But decisive action creates results immediately. Results create success progressively. Success creates confidence exponentially. Confidence creates more action continuously. More action creates compound results multiplicatively. This audiobook teaches overthinking elimination mastery, the neuroscience of mental loops, the psychology of analysis paralysis, the cognitive science of rumination, the practical methods of decision speed, the systems of action bias, the techniques of loop breaking, the practices of decisive execution. Stop overthinking and analyzing endlessly. Start deciding and executing immediately. Stop ruminating and looping mentally. Start acting and progressing practically. Break mental loops permanently. End rumination completely. Create action immediately. Beginning now. Chapter 1. You overthink everything. Recognize analysis paralysis. You overthink everything constantly. Analyze endlessly without conclusion. Worry continuously without resolution. Ruminate perpetually without progress. Second guess continuously without decision. Doubt chronically without action. Question relentlessly without answers. Loop mentally without escape. This overthinking is paralyzing. Paralyzing your action. Paralyzing your decisions. Paralyzing your progress. Paralyzing your success. Paralyzing your life. Most people overthink constantly, without awareness, without recognition, without understanding, without choice. Cultural conditioning reinforces overthinking. Think before you act. Careful consideration required. Thorough analysis necessary. Due diligence expected. These messages everywhere. These beliefs automatic. These patterns destructive. Overthinking manifests through specific patterns. Pattern 1. Decision paralysis. Cannot choose despite having information. Cannot decide despite knowing options. Cannot commit despite understanding consequences. Stuck analyzing. Stuck comparing. Stuck evaluating. Indefinitely. Endlessly. Paralyzing. Pattern 2. Rumination loops. Same thoughts circling endlessly. Same worries repeating continuously. Same doubts returning perpetually. Mental hamster wheel. Running constantly. Going nowhere. Exhausting completely. Pattern 3. Worry spirals. Catastrophizing future possibilities. Imagining worst outcomes. Anticipating disasters. Creating anxiety. Generating fear. Producing stress. Without basis. Without action. Without resolution. Pattern 4. Perfectionism paralysis. Waiting for perfect conditions. Waiting for perfect information. Waiting for perfect timing. Waiting for perfect readiness. Waiting forever. Never starting. Never acting. Never achieving. Pattern 5. Information addiction. Seeking more data endlessly. Reading more articles continuously. Researching more options perpetually. Before deciding. Before acting. Before committing. Never enough. Never ready. Never certain. Overthinking creates paralysis. Action creates results. Decide and execute or remain stuck. The overthinking action-inverse relationship is proven. More thinking correlates with less action. More analysis creates less execution. More planning produces less doing. More preparation generates less starting. Inverse relationship. Negative correlation. Destructive pattern. Research by Barry Schwartz on choice paralysis demonstrates too many options decrease decision-making ability. Excessive analysis impairs choice quality significantly. Overthinking reduces satisfaction with decisions made. More options create paralysis. More analysis creates regret. More thinking creates dissatisfaction. Proven. Researched. Documented. Common overthinking patterns are universal. Decision overthinking. Analyzing every choice endlessly. Social overthinking. Replaying interactions repeatedly. Future overthinking. Worrying about possibilities constantly. Past overthinking. Ruminating on mistakes endlessly. These patterns automatic. These loops habitual. These cycles destructive. Recognition requires honest assessment. Track overthinking episodes. When do they occur? What triggers them? How long do they last? Identify triggers specifically. What situations activate overthinking? What decisions create paralysis? What contexts generate loops? Acknowledge costs honestly. What does paralysis prevent? What opportunities missed? What progress blocked? Accept pattern completely. Overthinking is habit, not necessity. Pattern, not personality. Behavior, not identity. Changeable, not fixed. Overthinking creates paralysis. Action creates results. Decide and execute or remain stuck. You understand now that overthinking is universal pattern through cultural reinforcement. You understand that 5 manifestations exist through decision paralysis, rumination, worry, perfectionism, information addiction. You understand that overthinking action relationship is inverse through research evidence. Stop overthinking without awareness unconsciously. Start recognizing patterns and triggers consciously. Stop believing more analysis improves decisions. Start understanding thinking-action inverse relationship. Track your overthinking this week. When does it occur? What triggers it? How long does it last? What does it prevent? Acknowledge costs honestly. Accept as changeable habit. This recognition is foundation. This awareness is beginning. Your action awaits recognition. Your results await acknowledgement. Recognize paralysis now. Acknowledge pattern. Accept changeability starting today. You recognize paralysis now. Next, you must understand neuroscience. Chapter 2. Understand mental loop neuroscience, the brain's rumination circuit. Mental loops are neurological patterns. Specific brain circuits activating repeatedly, creating thought cycles difficult to break. Not character flaw, not weakness, not choice. Neural patterns, brain circuits, biological processes. Understanding neuroscience enables breaking loops, enables interrupting patterns, enables creating change. The default mode network is primary rumination circuit, DMN for short, discovered by Marcus Raichle. Active during rest, active during mind wandering, active during self-referential thought, generates internal narrative, generates worry, generates rumination, generates overthinking. Research demonstrates DMN hyperactivity correlates with anxiety disorders, depression conditions, rumination problems. Overactive DMN creates excessive overthinking, creates endless loops, creates mental paralysis. Loop formation follows specific process. Process is mechanical. Process is predictable. Process is changeable. Step 1. Initial trigger. Situation activating thought. Event generating concern. Decision requiring consideration. Uncertainty creating worry. Trigger starts process. Step 2. Neural pathway activation. Specific circuit fires. Particular network activates. Certain pattern engages. Brain responds automatically. Step 3. Thought repetition. Same pattern recurring. Same circuit firing again. Same network reactivating. Repetition happening. Step 4. Pathway strengthening. Repetition reinforces circuit. Repeated firing strengthens pathway. Continued activation builds connection. Like groove deepening. Like path widening. Like habit forming. Step 5. Automatic activation. Loop becomes default. Pattern becomes automatic. Circuit fires spontaneously. Without conscious trigger. Without deliberate activation. Automatically. Habitually. Continuously. Mental loops are neural habits. Habits change through practice. Interrupt loops or strengthen them. The rumination reinforcement cycle is self-perpetuating. Thinking strengthens neural pathway. Stronger pathway activates more easily. Easier activation creates more thinking. More thinking further strengthens pathway. Self-reinforcing loop. Vicious cycle. Automatic escalation. Each rumination episode strengthens circuit. Each overthinking session deepens groove. Each analysis marathon widens path. Making next episode more likely. Making next session easier. Making next marathon inevitable. This explains why overthinking worsens over time. Why loops intensify. Why patterns strengthen. Why breaking becomes harder. Neural reinforcement. Biological strengthening. Automatic intensification. Neurotransmitter involvement is critical. Serotonin deficiency enables rumination. Low serotonin correlates with repetitive negative thinking. Dopamine drives information seeking. Dopamine reward from gathering information. Creates addiction to research. Creates compulsion to analyze. Cortisol maintains stress loops. Stress hormone keeps worry active. Keeps anxiety elevated. Keeps loops running. GABA insufficiency prevents loop interruption. GABA is inhibitory neurotransmitter. Calms neural activity. Stops excessive firing. Insufficient GABA means circuits keep firing. Means loops keep running. Means thoughts keep cycling. Understanding neurochemistry explains why loops feel uncontrollable. Why interruption feels difficult. Why stopping feels impossible. Not weakness. Not failure. Neurochemistry. Biology. Physiology. Brain regions involved are specific. Prefrontal cortex. Analysis center. Overthinking hub. Deliberation location. Anterior cingulate cortex. Conflict monitoring. Doubt generation. Uncertainty detection. Amygdala. Threat detection. Worry activation. Fear generation. Hippocampus. Memory retrieval. Past rumination. Experience replay. These regions interact. Create loops together. Activate simultaneously. Reinforce mutually. Understanding brain regions helps. Helps explain experience. Helps normalize struggle. Helps enable change. Loop breaking requires specific interventions. Interrupting neural patterns deliberately. Creating new pathways intentionally. Weakening old circuits systematically. Strengthening alternative responses consistently. Building action bias neurologically. These interventions work. Work because brain changes. Because neurons rewire. Because circuits reorganize. Because pathways strengthen. Neuroplasticity enables change. Enables loop breaking. Enables pattern interruption. Enables habit transformation. Mental loops are neural habits. Habits change through practice. Interrupt loops or strengthen them. You understand now that mental loops are neurological through DMN hyperactivity. You understand that loop formation follows process through 5 mechanical steps. You understand that reinforcement cycle is self-perpetuating through neural pathway strengthening. Stop believing overthinking is character flaw. Start understanding as neural pattern changeable. Stop thinking loops are permanent unchangeable. Start recognizing neuroplasticity enables transformation. Stop feeling powerless against thoughts automatically. Start understanding interruption creates neural change. Your loops are neural patterns. Your patterns are changeable. Your brain is plastic. Interrupt loops deliberately. Create new patterns systematically. Build action pathways consistently. This understanding is power. This knowledge is foundation. Your change awaits understanding. Your transformation awaits neuroscience. Understand circuits now. Recognize changeability. Begin interruption starting today. You understand neuroscience now. Next, you must identify triggers. Chapter 3. Identify your loop triggers. Know what activates overthinking. Breaking loops requires identifying triggers. Specific situations activating overthinking. Particular emotions generating rumination. Certain thoughts starting loops. Specific context creating paralysis. Cannot break loops without knowing triggers. Cannot interrupt patterns without recognizing activators. Cannot stop cycles without identifying starters. Must identify. Must recognize. Must know. 6 primary trigger categories exist. 6 common activators. 6 universal starters. 6 predictable initiators. Category 1. Uncertainty triggers. Ambiguous situations creating confusion. Unclear outcomes generating worry. Missing information producing anxiety. Unpredictable circumstances starting loops. Uncertainty activates overthinking automatically. Brain seeks certainty, seeks predictability, seeks control. When absent, loops begin. Category 2. High-stakes triggers. Important decisions requiring thought. Significant consequences creating pressure. Irreversible choices generating fear. Major commitments producing anxiety. High stakes activate analysis. Activate deliberation. Activate overthinking. Activate paralysis. Category 3. Social triggers. Interactions requiring judgment creating anxiety. Performance situations generating worry. Potential rejection context producing fear. Comparison opportunities starting loops. Social situations activate rumination. Activate replaying conversations. Activate analyzing interactions. Activate worrying about perceptions. Category 4. Perfectionism triggers. Quality standards creating pressure. Achievement expectations generating anxiety. Error possibilities producing fear. Judgment fears starting loops. Perfectionism activates endless analysis. Activates waiting for perfect conditions. Activates information seeking. Activates decision paralysis. Category 5. Time pressure triggers. Deadlines approaching creating stress. Rush decisions generating anxiety. Competing priorities producing overwhelm. Schedule conflicts starting loops. Time pressure paradoxically increases overthinking. Increases rather than decreases analysis. Creates paralysis rather than action. Counterintuitive but universal. Category 6. Emotional triggers. Anxiety states activating rumination. Stress conditions generating loops. Fear feelings producing overthinking. Doubt emotions starting cycles. Emotions trigger thoughts. Thoughts create more emotions. Emotions intensify thoughts. Self-reinforcing cycle. Know your triggers. Prepare your responses. Anticipate or be controlled by loops. Trigger identification protocol is systematic. Step 1. Track overthinking episodes daily. When does overthinking occur? What time of day? What situations? What contexts? What activities? Track specifically. Track completely. Track honestly. Step 2. Note preceding situations immediately. What happened just before? What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Note everything. Note details. Note patterns. Step 3. Identify common patterns across episodes. What situations repeat? What emotions recur? What thoughts return? What contexts persist? What people appear? Identify patterns. Identify consistently. Identify clearly. Step 4. Categorize trigger types specifically. Uncertainty triggers, high-stakes triggers, social triggers, Perfectionism triggers? Time pressure triggers? Emotional triggers? Categorize each. Categorize accurately. Categorize completely. Step 5. Understand activation mechanisms deeply. Why does this trigger activate? What need does it threaten? What fear does it activate? What uncertainty does it create? What pressure does it generate? Understand deeply. Understand completely. Understand mechanically. Personal trigger profiles vary individually. Some triggered by uncertainty primarily, others by social situations predominantly, some by perfectionism mainly, others by time pressure mostly, many by emotional states fundamentally. Your profile is unique. Your triggers are specific. Your patterns are individual. Understanding your specific profile enables critical capabilities. Anticipating overthinking activation before it happens. Preparing alternative responses in advance. Implementing preventive strategies proactively. Choosing action despite triggers consciously. Trigger awareness creates choice fundamentally. Knowing what activates overthinking enables conscious response rather than automatic reaction. Enables preparation rather than surprise. Enables strategy rather than default. Enables action rather than paralysis. Without awareness, triggers control you. With awareness, you control response. Know your triggers. Prepare your responses. Anticipate or be controlled by loops. You understand now that 6 trigger categories exist through uncertainty, stakes, social, perfectionism, time, emotion. You understand that identification protocol is systematic through 5-step tracking process. You understand that personal profiles vary through individual patterns. Stop being controlled by unknown triggers. Start identifying your specific activators systematically. Stop reacting automatically to every trigger. Start preparing conscious responses to known patterns. Track overthinking episodes this week daily. Note preceding situations immediately after. Identify common patterns across episodes clearly. Categorize your primary trigger types specifically. Understand why they activate you deeply. This identification is power. This awareness is control. Your control awaits identification. Your power awaits awareness. Identify triggers now. No activators. Prepare responses starting today. You identify triggers now. Next, you must interrupt physically. Chapter 4. Interrupt loops physically. Use body to break mental cycles. Physical interruption breaks mental loops effectively. More effectively than mental efforts alone. More powerfully than thinking about stopping thinking. More reliably than willpower attempts. Body-based interventions stop thought cycles. Stop rumination patterns. Stop overthinking loops. Stop mental paralysis. The body-mind connection is bidirectional. Mind affects body obviously. Body affects mind powerfully. Mental loops create physical tension. Physical state affects mental state. Changing body changes mind. Movement interrupts rumination. Action stops overthinking. Physical engagement breaks loops. Physical interruption techniques are multiple, are practical, are effective, are immediate. Technique 1. Pattern interrupt movement. Sudden physical change disrupts neural pattern. Standing abruptly when sitting. Walking suddenly when still. Jumping unexpectedly when stationary. Any sudden movement, any abrupt change, any immediate shift, disrupts loop, interrupts circuit, breaks pattern. Technique 2. Bilateral stimulation. Alternating left-right movement activates both brain hemispheres. Walking rhythmically, tapping alternately, moving cross-laterally. A movement's left-right, any bilateral pattern. Processes stuck thoughts. Integrates information. Resolves rumination. Research by Francine Shapiro demonstrates bilateral stimulation effectiveness. Demonstrates processing capacity. Demonstrates loop interruption. Technique 3. Intense exercise immediately. Vigorous activity floods brain with neurotransmitters. Running intensely. Boxing vigorously. lifting powerfully. Any intense movement floods brain with endorphins, with dopamine, with serotonin, shifts focus from thoughts to sensations, exhausts rumination capacity, creates presence. Body interrupts mind effectively. Physical action breaks mental loops. Move or remain stuck in thoughts. Technique 4. Cold exposure immediately. Cold water face washing resets nervous system. Cold shower interrupts thought patterns. Ice on face creates immediate presence. Activates dive reflex. Slows heart rate. Calms arousal. Interrupts loops. Creates shift. Generates presence. Technique 5. Breath pattern change deliberately. Deliberate breathing alters brain state. 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale 4 counts. Hold 7 counts. Exhale 8 counts. Box breathing. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Any controlled breathing reduces rumination, creates calm focus, interrupts loops. The 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique interrupts powerfully. 5 things you see specifically. For things you hear exactly. 3 things you feel physically. 2 things you smell presently. 1 thing you taste currently. Forces attention to present sensations. Interrupts mental loop immediately. Grounds in physical reality. Cannot ruminate while fully sensing. Cannot overthink while completely present. Cannot loop while totally grounded. Progressive muscle relaxation interrupts systematically. Tensing muscles deliberately. Releasing completely. Moving through body systematically. Toes to head. Focuses attention on body sensations. Releases rumination-related tension. Creates physical mental shift. Changes state. Interrupts pattern. Breaks loop. Research by Matthew Knock demonstrates physical intervention superiority. More effective than cognitive techniques alone. More reliable than mental efforts only. More powerful than thought-stopping attempts. Physical techniques work because specific reasons. Cannot maintain intense rumination while intensely physical. Body sensations override mental loops. Movement creates brain state changes. Physical action builds action momentum. Momentum transfers. Physical to mental. Movement to decision. Action to execution. Breaking one pattern enables breaking others. Physical interruption creates mental interruption. Body action enables mind action. Movement generates decision. Exercise produces execution. Body interrupts mind effectively. Physical action breaks mental loops. Move or remain stuck in thoughts. You understand now that physical interruption works through body-mind connection. You understand that 5 techniques exist through movement, bilateral, exercise, cold, breathing. You understand that grounding technique interrupts through sensory focus. Stop trying to think your way out of overthinking. Start using physical interruption to break loops. Stop remaining still while ruminating endlessly. Start moving immediately when noticing loops. Stop relying on mental willpower alone always. Start using body to interrupt mind. Practice physical interruption today, immediately. When noticing overthinking, stand abruptly and walk. Use 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Do 20 jumping jacks immediately. Splash cold water on face. Practice 4-7-8 breathing. This interruption breaks loops. This movement creates shift. This action generates presence. Your interruption awaits physical action. Your shift awaits body movement. Interrupt physically now. Move immediately. Break loops through body starting today. You interrupt physically now. Next, you must set deadlines. Chapter 5. Set decision deadlines. Use time limits to force action. Decision deadlines eliminate endless analysis. Time constraints force decisions. Prevent perfectionism paralysis. Create action bias. Enable execution. Generate results. Parkinson's law applies to overthinking universally. Thinking expands to fill time available. Unlimited time creates unlimited analysis. Constrained time forces decision. Limited time generates action. Deadline creates closure. Without deadline, analysis continues indefinitely. With deadline, decision becomes mandatory. Time limit eliminates option of endless thinking. Forces choice. Requires commitment. Demands action. The deadline decision protocol is systematic. Step 1. Identify decision needed specifically. What decision requires making? What choice needs commitment? What action needs taking? Identify precisely. Step 2. Gather essential information only. Not all information. Not complete information. Not perfect information. Essential information only. Sufficient information. Adequate information. Enough information. Step 3. Set specific deadline firmly. Hours or days. Not weeks. Not months. Not indefinite. Specific time. Specific date. Specific moment. Hours for minor decisions. Days for moderate decisions. Week maximum for major decisions. Step 4. Decide by deadline regardless of certainty. Regardless of comfort. Regardless of confidence. Regardless of completeness. Decide regardless. Choose anyway. Commit despite uncertainty. Step 5. Execute decision immediately after deciding. Not later. Not eventually. Not when ready. Immediately. Instantly. Right away. Decision plus immediate execution equals results. Decision without execution equals continued paralysis. Deadlines force decisions. Unlimited time creates paralysis. Set limits or analyze forever. Deadline types for different decisions are calibrated. Minor decisions get 5-minute deadline. What to wear, what to eat, when to start task, which route to take. 5 minutes maximum. Moderate decisions get 24-hour deadline. Which project to prioritize, which approach to take, which option to choose. 24 hours maximum. Significant decisions get 72-hour deadline. Job opportunity, major purchase, important commitment, 72 hours maximum. Major decisions get 1 week maximum deadline. Career change, relationship decision, location move, 1 week maximum. No decision deserves infinite analysis ever. Diminishing returns on additional thinking. Most information available quickly. Prolonged analysis doesn't improve decisions. Action provides better feedback than extended thinking. Research by Sheena Iyengar demonstrates deadline effectiveness. Time constraints improve decision quality measurably. Limited options with deadlines create better outcomes. Unlimited time increases regret and doubt. Deadlines reduce rumination. Reduce second-guessing. Reduce analysis paralysis. Increase satisfaction. Increase confidence. Increase commitment. The 10-10-10 rule calibrates importance. Will this matter in 10 minutes? 10 months? 10 years? If only 10 minutes, decide instantly. If only 10 months, decide quickly. Even 10-year decisions don't require infinite analysis. Maximum 1 week. Then decide. Then commit. Then execute. Common deadline mistakes undermine effectiveness. Setting but not honoring deadlines. Creating deadline, then extending repeatedly. Making escape clauses automatically. Negotiating with self continuously. These mistakes maintain paralysis. Maintain overthinking. Maintain indecision. Effective deadline setting requires specific elements. Specific time precisely stated. External accountability when possible. Commitment device activated. Consequence for missing deadline. Immediate action upon deciding. These elements create enforcement. Create commitment. Create follow-through. Create results. Deadline without enforcement is suggestion. Suggestion enables avoidance. Avoidance maintains paralysis. Enforcement creates action. Deadlines force decisions. Unlimited time creates paralysis. Set limits or analyze forever. You understand now that Parkinson's law applies to thinking through time expansion. You understand that deadline protocol is systematic through 5 specific steps. You understand that deadline types are calibrated through decision importance. Stop allowing unlimited time for decisions. Start setting specific deadlines immediately. Stop extending deadlines repeatedly when uncomfortable. Start honoring deadlines regardless of certainty. Stop treating all decisions as deserving infinite analysis. Start calibrating deadlines to actual importance. Identify one decision you're overthinking currently. Set deadline now specifically. Hours? Days? Week maximum? Gather essential information only. Decide by deadline regardless. Execute immediately after deciding. This deadline forces decision. This limit creates action. Your decision awaits deadline. Your action awaits time limit. Set deadline now. Honor firmly. Decide regardless starting today. You set deadlines now. Next, you must apply 70%. Chapter 6. Apply the 70% rule. Act with incomplete information. The 70% rule enables action despite uncertainty. Act when 70% confident. When having 70% of information. When seeing 70% probability of success. Not 100%. Not perfect certainty. Not complete information. 70% sufficient. 70% adequate. 70% actionable. Waiting for 100% certainty guarantees paralysis permanently. Perfect certainty never exists. Complete information never available. Guaranteed success never possible. Ideal conditions never arrive. Waiting for perfect means waiting forever. Means never starting. Means never acting. Means never achieving. Means permanent paralysis. The diminishing returns curve is mathematical. First 20% of information provides 80% of clarity. Next 50% provides 15% more clarity. Final 30% provides only 5% additional clarity, while consuming 80% of time. Diminishing returns, decreasing benefit, increasing cost. Acting at 70% provides sufficient information for reasonable decision, maintains momentum, enables rapid feedback, allows course correction, creates competitive advantage. Research by Jeff Bezos on decision types illuminates strategy. Type 1 decisions are irreversible, require more certainty, require more analysis, require more information. Type 2 decisions are reversible, should be made quickly, should be made at 70%, should be made rapidly. Most decisions are type 2, but treated as type 1, creating unnecessary paralysis, creating excessive analysis, creating perpetual delay. 70% is enough. Perfect certainty is impossible. Act at 70 or wait forever. The 70% confidence calibration is practical. If you were betting money with fair odds, would you bet? If yes, at 70% confidence, decide now. If no, gather more information. Up to 80% maximum. Then decide anyway, regardless of certainty. Beyond 80% is diminishing returns, is wasted time, is analysis paralysis, is perfectionism delaying. Overcoming 70% resistance requires mindset shifts. Recognize perfectionism operating. Acknowledge uncertainty always exists. Remember feedback beats analysis. Trust course correction ability. Value momentum over certainty. These shifts enable action, enable execution, enable results, enable success, enable achievement. Implementation protocol is systematic. Step 1. Assess current information percentage honestly. Do I have 70% of information? Am I 70% confident? Is success probability 70%? Assess honestly. Step 2. If it's 70%, decide now immediately. No additional analysis. No more research. No further deliberation. Decide now. Act now. Execute now. Step 3. If below 70, gather specific missing pieces only. Not everything. Not all information. Not complete certainty. Specific pieces only. Identified gaps only. Essential information only. Step 4. Decide at 70% regardless of comfort, regardless of complete certainty, regardless of perfect confidence, regardless of total information. Decide anyway. Commit regardless. Act despite uncertainty. Step 5. Execute immediately after deciding. Don't wait. Don't prepare more. Don't plan further. Execute immediately. Act instantly. Start now. Common 70% mistakes prevent action. Miscalibrating percentage constantly. Claiming 30% when actually 70%. Requiring 90% labeled as 70%. Moving target continuously. These mistakes maintain paralysis. Maintain overthinking. Maintain delay. Honest calibration requires brutal honesty. Actually 70%? Or perfectionism demanding more? Actually insufficient information? Or fear preventing action? Actually need more data? Or avoiding commitment? Honest assessment. Truthful evaluation. Accurate calibration. Enables appropriate action. Enables timely execution. Enables deserved results. 70% is enough. Perfect certainty is impossible. Act at 70 or wait forever. You understand now that 70% enables action through sufficient information. You understand that diminishing returns operate through information gathering curve. You understand that type 2 decisions require less certainty through reversibility. Stop waiting for 100% certainty always. Start acting at 70% systematically. Stop gathering information beyond 80% ever. Start recognizing diminishing returns and deciding. Stop miscalibrating percentage to justify delay. Start honest assessment and appropriate action. Assess one current decision honestly now. Do you have 70% information? Are you 70% confident? If yes, decide now immediately. If no, gather specific gaps only. Then decide at 70 regardless. Execute immediately after decision. This 70% enables action. This threshold permits execution. Your action awaits 70%. Your execution awaits honest assessment. Assess honestly now. Act at 70. Execute immediately starting today. You apply 70% now. Next, you must use implementation intentions. Chapter 7. Use implementation intentions. Replace planning with doing. Implementation intentions transform vague plans into automatic actions. Specific if-then statements triggering behavior without deliberation, without analysis, without overthinking, without delay. Research by Peter Gallwitzer demonstrates effectiveness conclusively. Implementation intentions double success rates measurably. Specific triggers create automatic responses reliably. If-then planning beats goal setting alone significantly. The overthinking problem with goals is continuous. Goals require continued decision-making repeatedly. Each execution moment offers opportunity for doubt. Analysis can prevent action every time. Deliberation can delay execution constantly. Overthinking can paralyze implementation perpetually. Every single time. Implementation intentions bypass overthinking completely. Pre-decide specific action in advance. Link to specific trigger clearly. Execute automatically when triggered. No additional deliberation needed. No further analysis required. No more overthinking possible. Decision already made. Action predetermined. Execution automatic. Implementation intention formula is precise. If specific situation, then I will specific action at specific time/place. 3 elements required. Specific situation trigger. Specific action response. Specific time or place context. All 3. All specific. All predetermined. Examples demonstrate formula. If it's 6 a.m., then I will exercise for 30 minutes in my living room. If I start overthinking a decision, then I will set a 5-minute timer and decide when it ends. If I notice rumination loop, then I will do 20 jumping jacks immediately. Specific trigger. Specific action. Specific context. If-then eliminates deliberation. Automatic action prevents overthinking. Plan or deliberate endlessly every time. The power of specificity is mechanical. Vague intentions fail consistently. Specific triggers work reliably. Precise actions execute automatically. Detailed plans activate effectively. Vague. I will exercise more. Specific. If it's 6 a.m., then I will run for 20 minutes. Vague. I will stop overthinking. Specific. If I notice loop, then I will do jumping jacks. Vague. I will decide faster. Specific. If facing decision, then I will set 5-minute timer. Specificity creates automaticity. Vagueness maintains deliberation. Specificity enables execution. Vagueness permits paralysis. Creating effective implementation intentions requires systematic process. Step 1. Identify common overthinking situations specifically. When do loops typically start? What decisions typically paralyze? What situations typically trigger? Identify patterns. Step 2. Specify desired alternative action precisely. Instead of ruminating, do what exactly? Instead of analyzing endlessly, do what specifically? Instead of overthinking, do what precisely? Specify action. Step 3. Link action to clear trigger explicitly. If this specific situation, then this specific action. If noticing this trigger, then doing this response. Clear linkage. Explicit connection. Predetermined relationship. Step 4. Commit fully to if-then execution completely. Not maybe, not sometimes, not when convenient. Always, every time, without exception. Full commitment. Step 5. Track adherence honestly over time. Did you execute when triggered? Did you follow if-then? Did you act automatically? Track honestly. Adjust if needed. Common implementation intention mistakes reduce effectiveness. Making intentions too vague broadly. Not linking to specific triggers clearly. Creating too many simultaneously overwhelmingly. Failing to commit fully completely. These mistakes reduce power. Reduce automaticity. Reduce execution. Reduce results. Start with 3 intentions maximum. 1 for decision-making specifically. 1 for rumination interruption exactly. 1 for action bias precisely. Master 3 before adding more. 3 executed consistently beats 10 executed sporadically. Quality over quantity. Consistency over volume. Execution over planning. Implementation intentions work because specific mechanisms. Eliminate decision points completely. Bypass deliberation entirely. Create automaticity systematically. Trigger action directly. Prevent overthinking opportunity. No moment for doubt. No space for analysis. No time for deliberation. No opportunity for paralysis. Trigger happens. Action executes. Automatically. Immediately. Effectively. If-then eliminates deliberation. Automatic action prevents overthinking. Plan or deliberate endlessly every time. You understand now that implementation intentions create automaticity through if-then structure. You understand that specificity is critical through precise triggers and actions. You understand that 3 intentions maximum initially through focused execution. Stop creating vague intentions that permit deliberation. Start creating specific if-then statements that trigger automatically. Stop making dozens of intentions simultaneously. Start mastering 3 intentions consistently first. Create 3 implementation intentions today now. 1 for decisions. If facing decision, then set 5-minute deadline. 1 for loops. If noticing rumination, then do physical interrupt. 1 for action. If it's 70% information, then decide and execute. Write them down. Commit fully. Execute automatically. This automaticity prevents deliberation. This structure creates execution. Your automaticity awaits implementation intentions. Your execution awaits if-then planning. Create intentions now. Commit fully. Execute automatically starting today. You use implementation intentions now. Next, you must embrace imperfection. Chapter 8. Embrace imperfect action. Done beats perfect always. Perfectionism fuels overthinking powerfully, waiting for perfect conditions endlessly. Perfect information completely. Perfect plan thoroughly. Perfect timing ideally. Perfect readiness totally. Creates permanent paralysis. Creates endless delay. Creates perpetual inaction. Creates zero results. The perfectionism action paradox is cruel. Perfectionism claims to improve outcomes supposedly, actually prevents outcomes entirely. Striving for excellent results produces zero results. Waiting for perfection guarantees never starting, never beginning, never acting, never achieving, never succeeding. Done beats perfect because results matter. Imperfect action creates results. Results provide feedback. Feedback enables improvement. Improvement produces better results. While perfect planning creates nothing, produces zero, achieves nothing, accomplishes zero, generates nothing. The iteration principle is transformative. Version 1.0 teaches lessons. Version 2.0 applies lessons. Version 3.0 approaches excellence. Version 10.0 achieves mastery. But version 1.0 must exist first, must be created, must be started, must be done. Cannot reach version 10 without version 1. Cannot achieve mastery without beginning. Cannot create excellence without starting imperfectly. Research by Carol Dweck on growth mindset illuminates. Viewing mistakes as learning enables action. Fearing mistakes creates paralysis. Growth mindset allows imperfect starts. Fixed mindset demands perfect execution. Growth enables action. Fixed creates paralysis. Done beats perfect always. Imperfect action creates results. Wait for perfect or start imperfect now. Minimum viable action is strategic concept. What's smallest action possible right now? What's quickest start achievable immediately? What's easiest beginning available currently? Start there specifically. Start imperfectly. Start immediately. Start messily. Start badly. Just start. Examples demonstrate principle. Writing badly beats not writing at all. Awkward socializing beats isolation completely. Imperfect exercise beats no exercise whatsoever. Messy creating beats perfect planning endlessly. Poor execution beats excellent preparation perpetually. Done imperfectly beats planned perfectly. Every time, without exception, universally. Permission for imperfection is liberating. You don't need to know everything. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need guaranteed success. You don't need complete confidence. You don't need total readiness. You don't need absolute certainty. Just need to start. Just need to begin. Just need to act. Just need to do. Just need to execute. Imperfectly. Immediately. Messily. Badly. Now. Imperfection protocol is systematic. Step 1. Identify perfectionism paralysis specifically. Where am I waiting for perfect? What decision requires perfect certainty? What action demands perfect conditions? What start needs perfect readiness? Identify specifically. Step 2. Acknowledge done beats perfect explicitly. Results beat planning. Action beats preparation. Execution beats analysis. Doing beats thinking. Imperfect done beats perfect planned. Acknowledge fully. Step 3. Define minimum viable action precisely. What's smallest possible start? What's quickest possible beginning? What's easiest possible action? Define minimally. Step 4. Execute imperfectly immediately without delay. Don't prepare more. Don't plan further. Don't wait longer. Execute now. Act immediately. Start instantly. Step 5. Improve through iteration progressively over time. Version 1 done. Version 2 improved. Version 3 refined. Version 4 enhanced. Iterate progressively. Common perfectionism resistance maintains paralysis. But I want quality results. But I have high standards. But I need to do it right. But I can't do poorly. But I must excel. Counter these. Quality comes through doing, not planning. Standards improve through practice, not preparation. Right emerges through iteration, not perfection. Excellence develops through starting, not waiting. Doing badly temporarily beats never doing permanently. Resistance maintains paralysis. Acceptance enables action. Permission creates execution. Done beats perfect always. Imperfect action creates results. Wait for perfect or start imperfect now. You understand now that perfectionism creates paralysis through waiting for ideal conditions. You understand that iteration principle requires version 1 through starting imperfectly. You understand that minimum viable action enables starting through smallest step. Stop waiting for perfect conditions that never arrive. Start acting imperfectly with conditions available now. Stop demanding complete readiness before beginning anything. Start accepting imperfect readiness as sufficient always. Stop letting perfectionism prevent all action completely. Start embracing imperfection as pathway to excellence. Identify one area where perfectionism paralyzes currently. Define minimum viable action for starting. Execute imperfectly today, immediately now. Don't prepare more. Don't plan further. Don't wait longer. Start badly. Start messily. Start imperfectly. This imperfection enables starting. This acceptance creates action. Your action awaits imperfection permission. Your results await messy beginning. Start imperfectly now. Act messily. Execute badly, starting today. You embrace imperfection now. Next, you must practice daily. Chapter 9. Practice loop breaking daily. Build action bias through training. Breaking mental loops is skill requiring daily practice, requiring consistent training, requiring systematic execution, requiring deliberate application, requiring permanent commitment, not one-time learning, not occasional effort, not sporadic practice, not intermittent application, daily practice, daily training, daily execution, daily application, daily commitment. 5 daily practices build action bias systematically. Practice 1. Morning action commitment immediately. Identify one decision to make today specifically. Set deadline for deciding precisely. Commit to deciding regardless of certainty completely. Before day begins. Before overthinking starts. Before loops activate. Morning commitment creates intention, creates direction, creates commitment, creates accountability, creates action orientation. Practice 2. Loop interruption practice when noticing. When noticing overthinking, immediately use physical interrupt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Movement pattern interrupt. 20 jumping jacks. Cold water face splash. Any physical interrupt. Immediately. Instantly. Without delay. When noticing equals when interrupting. Automatic response. Immediate action. Consistent execution. Practice 3. Quick decision training 5 times daily. Make 5 inconsequential decisions immediately without deliberation. What to wear decided instantly. What to eat chosen immediately. When to start task committed now. Which route to take selected instantly. Any small decisions. 5 daily minimum. No analysis. No deliberation. No overthinking. Immediate decision. Instant choice. Quick commitment. Builds decision muscle. Builds speed capacity. Builds action bias. Loop breaking requires daily practice. Skills build through consistent training. Practice daily or remain paralyzed. Practice 4. Imperfect action execution 1 daily. 1 imperfect action taken despite wanting more preparation. Starting project messily. Beginning task imperfectly. executing plan badly, creating output poorly, one daily minimum, despite imperfection, despite unreadiness, despite uncertainty, action despite conditions, execution despite doubt, starting despite fear. Practice 5. Evening review, tracking progress. Note decisions made today. Count loops broken successfully. List actions taken despite doubt. Identify improvements needed tomorrow. Review honestly. Review completely. Review systematically. This review creates awareness of progress, recognition of patterns, celebration of successes, identification of improvements, commitment for tomorrow. Decision speed training builds capacity progressively. Start with truly inconsequential decisions first. Practice immediate choosing repeatedly. Gradually increase decision importance slowly. Build decisiveness muscle systematically. Transfer to significant choices eventually. The action confidence loop is self-reinforcing. Action creates results. Results build confidence. Confidence enables more action. More action creates better results. Positive reinforcing cycle. Virtuous loop. Upward spiral. Replacing overthinking paralysis, negative cycle. Replacing vicious loop. Replacing downward spiral. Overthinking relapse prevention requires vigilance. Recognize early warning signs immediately. Analysis increasing gradually. Information seeking escalating progressively. Deadline approaching without deciding yet. These signs signal relapse. Signal loop strengthening. Signal pattern returning. Implement circuit breakers immediately. Physical interrupt right away. Deadline enforcement strictly. Imperfect action commitment now. Return to protocols immediately without delay. Don't compound with overthinking about overthinking. Don't analyze the analysis. Don't ruminate about rumination. Just interrupt. Just act. Just execute. Progress tracking maintains motivation powerfully. Count decisions made daily specifically. Measure time from trigger to action precisely. Note loops broken successfully completely. Celebrate action bias improvements genuinely. Acknowledge imperfect actions taken honestly. This tracking creates visible progress evidence, motivation maintenance, pattern recognition, skill development awareness, commitment reinforcement. What gets measured gets improved. What gets tracked gets enhanced. What gets counted gets increased. This daily practice creates specific outcomes. Automatic action bias develops. Rapid decision-making emerges. Loop interruption skill strengthens. Imperfection tolerance builds. Momentum maintains consistently. Through daily practice. Through consistent training. Through systematic execution. Through deliberate application. Through permanent commitment. Loop breaking requires daily practice. Skills build through consistent training. Practice daily or remain paralyzed. You understand now that 5 practices build capacity through systematic daily training. You understand that action confidence loop reinforces through positive cycle. You understand that progress tracking maintains motivation through measurement. Stop practicing occasionally when convenient only. Start practicing daily regardless of motivation. Stop waiting for perfect practice conditions. Start executing practices imperfectly consistently. Implement 5 practices starting tomorrow morning. Morning action commitment before day starts. Loop interruption when noticing overthinking. 5 quick decisions made instantly. 1 imperfect action taken despite doubt. Evening review tracking all progress. Every day, every single day, this practice builds skill. This training creates capacity. Your skill awaits daily practice. Your capacity awaits consistent training. Practice daily now. Train consistently. Build systematically starting tomorrow. You practice daily now. Finally, you must understand permanence. Chapter 10. Action bias is permanent practice. Decisiveness requires daily execution. Action bias is not destination. not achievement, not completion, not finish line, not final state, not permanent possession, not static capability, not fixed ability, is ongoing practice, is continuous training, is permanent commitment, is endless dedication, is lifetime journey, is daily work, is forever process, is constant maintenance. Temporary practice creates temporary decisiveness. Temporary training creates temporary action bias. Temporary commitment creates temporary loop breaking. Stop practicing, overthinking returns. Stop training, analysis paralysis resurfaces. Stop committing, mental loops reactivate. Stop dedicating, decision paralysis returns. Automatic, guaranteed, inevitable, mechanical, rapid, devastating. Neural pathways strengthen with use, weaken with disuse. Action pathways strengthen through daily execution, weaken through neglect. Overthinking pathways strengthen through repeated use, weaken through consistent interruption. Unused skills deteriorate progressively. Unpracticed patterns disappear gradually. Abandoned habits return to default automatically. This is neuroscience. This is biology. This is reality. Daily non-negotiables. Maintain action bias permanently. Morning commitment. Deciding action today. Loop interruption using physical techniques. Decision deadline setting and honoring. Imperfect action taking despite doubt. Evening review. Tracking progress honestly. Daily. Consistently. Permanently. Endlessly. Action bias is permanent practice. Decisiveness requires daily execution. Execute daily or return to paralysis. After months of practice, transformation occurs profoundly. From trying to decide to deciding naturally. From forcing action to acting automatically. From conscious loop breaking to automatic action bias. From deliberate decisiveness to natural execution. From effortful practice to effortless competence. Practice shaped being. Repetition formed identity. Consistency created essence. Permanence established nature. Dedication transformed character. Integration stages progress predictably. Stage 1. Conscious incompetence. Aware of overthinking. Can't stop yet. Know what to do. Can't execute consistently. Uncomfortable. Effortful. Difficult. Stage 2. Conscious competence. Can break loops with effort. Can decide with focus. Can act with attention. Can execute with deliberation. Requires conscious effort. Requires deliberate attention. Improving progressively. Developing gradually. Stage 3. Unconscious competence. Automatic action bias naturally. Natural decisiveness effortlessly. Integrated loop breaking automatically. Embodied execution spontaneously. No conscious effort needed. No deliberate attention required. Automatic. Natural. Effortless. Permanent. This transformation requires specific commitments. Months of consistent practice minimum. Patience with progression realistically. Persistence through relapses inevitably. Commitment to permanence absolutely. Action bias becomes identity fundamentally. From overthinker to doer completely. From analyzer to executor totally. From planner to implementer fully. From deliberator to decider absolutely. Through permanent daily practice. Through systematic training. Through forever commitment. Through eternal dedication. Through endless execution. Temporary practice creates temporary decisiveness. Permanent practice creates permanent action. Execute daily or return to paralysis. You have learned 10 principles for breaking mental loops. You overthink everything. Recognize analysis paralysis. Understand mental loop neuroscience, the brain's rumination circuit. Identify your loop triggers. Know what activates overthinking. Interrupt loops physically. Use body to break mental cycles. Set decision deadlines. Use time limits to force action. Apply the 70% rule. Act with incomplete information. Use implementation intentions. Replace planning with doing. Embrace imperfect action. Done beats perfect always. Practice loop breaking daily. Build action bias through training. Action bias is permanent practice. Decisiveness requires daily execution. What matters now is action. Today, immediately, identify one decision you're overthinking currently. Set deadline now specifically. Gather information to 70% only. Decide by deadline regardless. Execute immediately imperfectly. 5 daily practices starting tomorrow. Morning action commitment. Loop interruption when noticing. 5 quick decisions instantly. 1 imperfect action taken. Evening review tracking. Every day. Every single day. No exceptions. No excuses. No skips. This breaks loops. This creates action. This builds decisiveness. Stop overthinking and analyzing endlessly. Start deciding and executing immediately. Stop waiting for perfect information. Start acting at 70%. Stop planning perfectly forever. Start doing imperfectly now. Mental loops broken. Rumination ended. Action created. Decisiveness built. Results generated. Beginning now. Practicing daily. Executing permanently. Your action awaits practice. Your decisiveness awaits commitment. Your results await execution. Break loops through permanent practice. Through systematic training. Through forever commitment to decisive action that results require. Beginning today. Continuing tomorrow. Lasting forever. Through daily practice. Through permanent commitment. Through eternal dedication. Begin now. You have learned 10 principles for breaking mental loops. You overthink everything. Recognize analysis paralysis. Understand mental loop neuroscience, the brain's rumination circuit. Identify your loop triggers. Know what activates overthinking. Interrupt loops physically. Use body to break mental cycles. Set decision deadlines. Use time limits to force action. Apply the 70% rule. Act with incomplete information. Use implementation intentions. Replace planning with doing. Embrace imperfect action. Done beats perfect always. Practice loop breaking daily. Build action bias through training. Action bias is permanent practice. Decisiveness requires daily execution. What matters now is action. Today, immediately. Identify one decision you're overthinking currently. Set deadline now. Gather information to 70%. Decide by deadline. Execute immediately imperfectly. Daily practices starting tomorrow. Morning action commitment. Loop interruption when noticing overthinking. Quick decision training 5 times. 1 imperfect action taken. Evening review tracking progress. This breaks loops. This creates action. This builds decisiveness. Stop overthinking and analyzing endlessly. Start deciding and executing immediately. Stop waiting for perfect information. Start acting at 70%. Mental loops broken. Rumination ended. Action created. Beginning now. Practicing daily. Executing permanently.